Hello, welcome to a new episode of Geek Lunch Me. I'm your host Chris, as usual, and in this episode, going to do a quick review of the new, latest Marvel movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. If you like the video, don't forget to hit thumbs up. Helps us out a great deal, gets the video seen by more people, and if you've not already subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button? We'd absolutely love to have you here at the channel. So yeah, the new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has just opened. Went to see it last night. Some early reviews have said it's the best Marvel film since Endgame. Others have been a bit, there's been a bit of mixed reaction. Some have said that it's sort of continuing the sort of stagnation of Marvel that we've had since the end of Phase 4 and Endgame, obviously. Now, yeah, for me, it's somewhere in the middle. I know the internet is obviously full of hyperbole. It's what gets the clicks. You've either got to say it's the best thing since sliced bread, or it's absolute dross. But obviously, the truth, as in most of these things, is it's somewhere in the middle. Just give you some sort of background. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Thought it was really fresh, original. Absolutely loved it. Then the second one I enjoyed. I'm a big fan of Kurt Russell. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. I must admit, after the first one, everyone seemed to really enjoy it. Everyone was talking about it, introduced us to all these characters that no one had heard of before. And I really thought the second one was going to be huge. I thought it was going to be their next over $1 billion hit, but it didn't, which I felt was a bit strange. But yeah, so now we've got the third one, and it's a very enjoyable film. It just doesn't quite hit the highs that I wanted it to. But yeah, so the basic story, without going into spoilers, Rocket gets injured very early on in the film, and they discover that he's got a sort of kill switch inside him from when he was experimented on when he was young, and they need to basically find the code to deactivate the kill switch so they can then treat him and make him better. You also got Quill. He's not such a good place. He's drinking heavily. He's still not got over the fact that Gamora died and then was replaced by the Gamora from the other timeline, who obviously isn't in love with him and has gone off somewhere in the galaxy. So basically, the main plot, such as it is going to try and find this code to turn off this kill switch, so they can heal Rocket, who's only got a couple of days left to live. And there isn't much more to it than that. It's not a very complicated plot. It's just an excuse to hang sort of action set pieces on, and it's fine as is. If you're a fan of the first two Guardians movies, I imagine you very much enjoy this one. The banter between the group is great. I would say Mantis continues to be one of my favourite characters, especially when she gets angry. Pom Clementieff. I think her acting is great, and sort of her interplay with Drax is always good. Nebula, given that sort of sarcastic vibes, is great as well. Obviously, say Rocket is sort of out of action for quite a lot of the film, so we don't get sort of a lot of his interaction with Groot, and obviously we've got Starlord saying he's trying to get over Gamora, then obviously who's thrown back into the mix, so he's got issues with her there. We also then get the much heralded introduction of Adam Warlock into the MCU, played by Will Poulter. And he is underused, if you ask me. He doesn't get a great deal to do in the film. I've not read the comics, but from what I understand, he's a very powerful being, very much sort of like the Superman of the Marvel Universe, up there sort of with Captain Marvel in terms of that sort of level of powers. And he doesn't really get to demonstrate that. They play him as a very dumb character in places. And as I said, he doesn't really get to do a lot. Now, I think maybe they might be just setting him up, just introducing him, for later during the Secret Wars Avengers movies that we know are coming up sort of later on at the end of the phase. So yeah, it will be interesting to see where they go with him. Certain things, James Gunn's become famous for having, big music, big rock songs and that, underplaying, the scenes in his movies. Guardians is no exception. I would say with Volume 3, he almost goes over the top. Almost every single scene, has a needle drop. Needle drops are great when you get a song played. There's a scene later on in the film, as an action scene, like a fight scene in a corridor that's filmed like it's almost one continuous shot, and it's got the Beastie Boys, "No Sleep Till Brooklyn" playing over it, and it's fantastic. It's probably one of the best shots in the film. Its impact is slightly lessened because every preceding scene has also had some big bombastic rock song playing over it. It's almost getting to be a cliche of this is what James Gunn does. And for me, slightly with this movie, he does go a bit overboard on it. Now, obviously, it's been touted as it's the sort of last Guardians film. Obviously, James Gunn is moving on to oversee the DC movies, and I think Dave Bautista has said he's done with Drax. I think Zoe Saldana said she was done with Gamora. So there's that sort of emotional aspect of this is the last Guardian film, or what's going to happen to them, and also with like from the trailers, right, Rocket's backstory. So there's a lot of emotion there. Everyone's oh, you bring your tissues and blah blah blah. Now, I want to go into some spoiler territory on that as well. So if you don't want to be spoiled, just know, it's another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. If you enjoyed the first two, you'll enjoy this one. It's yes, it may be the best Marvel film since Endgame. I've got a soft spot for Shang-Chi, and obviously Spider-Man No Way Home was excellent. Though I do wonder if you take out the sort of gimmick of the other Spider-Mans coming in from the multiverse with that one, how well that film would stand up. But that's a different matter. But so if you enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy, it's another fun Marvel movie. Just don't expect this, a sort of absolute epic, and you'll have a great deal of fun with it. I did really enjoyed it. But going on to some spoilers. So if you're still around, we're going to spoiler territory now. So you've been warned. With the emotional, going back to this, the emotional aspect, and you sort of got the feeling that not everyone was making it out of this alive, and there are several sort of fake outs for deaths, which starts getting a bit annoying. Drax, at one point you think that Drax might die. Nebula at one point looks like she might go. Obviously Rocket's in trouble the whole way through, and then there's a big fake out at the end with Starlord. That one in particular, it makes no sense. He goes back to rescue his Zune, his music player, and then it looks like he dies, and you think, I thought, surely you're not going to have him just go out. The fact he was going back to get his Zune. But then and then Adam Warlock comes in and saves him at the end, and he doesn't die. And and in the end, no one does. Basically, none of the big heroes. They sort of the Guardians split up, or mostly split up, but they're all left. You sort of think, I know, like some of them said that they're done now, but you just sort of think, I suspect, come the end of the phase when we get to Secret War. And Kevin Feige comes along with his big bulging wallet. I suspect we'll see a lot of these characters. Wouldn't surprise me to come back to take part in some epic battle. And then the big emotional draw, obviously, is Rocket when he's little, and you see lots of flashbacks here with him with the other creatures that are being experimented on. His girlfriend Lila, this character Teefs, and Floor. Floor in particular, she's a rabbit. But she's got like a big metal mask on, and she's like mostly like a robot spider. I don't. Obviously, you're meant to feel a lot of emotion for when the inevitable happens to Rocket's lab mates. Maybe don't pick a giant robotic spider, strange creature. Probably give kids nightmares rather than make them feel sympathy for it. But I thought we would get a lot. We would get a lot more interaction. This also Lila is Rocket's girlfriend, and that sort of it led me, the hype is sort of, and all the trailers have led me to believe that we were going to see a lot more of this. You don't see them as much as I thought you were going to, which then blends when they get their inevitable deaths. Yes, it's sad, but it's not. It hasn't got that emotional pull on it because they're not characters that you sort of know intimately well. It's almost just like, these are little cute creatures, so therefore you feel emotion for them that way. So that coupled with the fact that, say, none of the Guardians die, there weren't the big emotional beats that I thought we were going to get. And it's also a very self-contained movie. It's another one, actually, much like the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was. It doesn't seem to affect the larger MCU at all. There's nothing to do with multiverses. There's nothing that links it to sort of any of the other movies or hints at anything that might be coming down the pipe, which I think a lot of the these Phase 5 movies have been like that. I think that may be some of the problems since we had the big climax of Endgame. There doesn't seem to be much direction in the later phases, and we know that we know it's all multiverse linked, and we've had some we've had Doctor Strange and Loki and bits of Spider-Man that all sort of mentioned it. But yeah, I've got to say, Guardians adds nothing to that at all. So say the only thing being is, as I said before, that Adam Warlock turns up, and who presumably is going to be a big character further down the line. So yeah, to sum it up, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it's a fine swan song for the Guardians as we know them. That particular team may not get back together. There are two end credit scenes. One of them showing you sort of the new Guardians consisting of Rocket, Groot, Adam Warlock, and some other sort of new female character. They meet as well. So obviously that team, we could easily see them in the future turning up. But as I said, it wouldn't surprise me to see obviously Drax and Mantis and Gamora are all coming back at some point as well. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it's another fun Marvel movie. It's nothing earth-shattering. If you're burnt out on Marvel superhero movies, this will do nothing to change your mind. If you just want to go to the cinema, enjoy a fun, funny, beautifully shot, very colourful, very vibrant. I say lots of good music. Sometimes maybe a bit too much. If you just want to go into cinema and have a fun time, go out and check out Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I really enjoyed it. I just didn't love it as much as I thought I might do. Say the first Guardians of the Galaxy film still remains my favourite there. But yeah, go check it out. Make your minds up for yourself. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Drop a comment below. Always good to hear from you. Take care. Until next time, eat, geek, and be merry.